Okay, I would like to play first. No thanks. This is better. So, I'm gonna lead on Misty and pass. I don't see a reason to probe him on one. I guess I could have drawn a Noble off of it. So I probably should have fired that off to try and find a Noble or an Elf. Oh, Affinity. Well, this is fine. I did accidentally press F6 here. His hand is... Well, his hand's okay, I guess. I wouldn't call it insane, but... Not until he plays the cranial plating next turn, right? That's a good reason for that card game one. I did call it on that cranial plating. 1, 2, 4. Well, it's not like I have a different play to make. So next turn he had Nexus to play. He had Overseer plating 2 lands. So I'm going to go to 15, 16, 17, 18, or 15 plus 5. I'm going to go to 10. I think I'm going to be attacking and killing the plating. I'm going to 9. That sounds right. This main deck hate card is not bad. I guess this deck is very, very narrowly metagamed against the decks that were excelling in the post Richmond world, which are Affinity and Pod, which Corruptor is very, very good against. And we are a little soft to burn because we aren't necessarily trying to kill our opponent on 4, which I think can be fixed. I think we do want more Corruptors for that, though. Or less Corruptors for that, though. Sorry, other way around. Though I do not mind Corruptor. I just think that there's possibly some balancing to be done. This is pretty convenient because the Overseer is not immediate lethal. Next turn. Whew. Okay, that's fine by me. So I get to... So I can actually Pendelhaven... Might... I don't even have to Vines until he makes a move on blocking. Let's see. I'm trying to run through scenarios dismembered in my head. I don't think it's really worth trying to do so. I don't think I know his other cards, but there's really, really low chances that he's a main deck dismember. If he had anything, it would be like he could have Spell Pierce, but then he'd so if he has Spell Pierce, interesting. Trying to think if there's a reason not to just go for it here. I don't feel like there is. If he has something wild like Vapor Snag, I guess I'm punished. Or Dispatch. Dispatch would be a beating. I mean, I think this is the right block because yeah, he's just dead. It does force me to actually think about whether I want to kill him or not. Let's see. Twisted Image is pretty awesome here because it kills Spellskite and can fog a plating. Cataxian Probe is not exceptional, but it's probably okay. Pact is pretty bad, I think. Don't want Wild Defiance. I think that card's slow. I think I want to max out on the Nature's Claims. And Spellskite, I don't really like, even though it turns off Ravager. I'm okay boarding out Dryad Arbor. Because it does not fly, so I don't think it's actually going to get me anywhere relevant. I think the life off probe does matter in this matchup. This is probably fine. We're boarding in 2 cantrips, so we're boarding out a land and 3 cantrips, but we're boarding in 2 cantrips. I don't think our mana guys are necessarily under attack. And I do want the max number of mutagenics because of Whip Flare. I do want the max number of other pump spells and distortions. Man, that main deck Corruptor. This is not going to fly. Yeah, this is an easy hand to get trapped into keeping, I think, is the double Nature's Claim hand. It doesn't do anything. Yeah, let's join him in Mulligan Land. This I'm not super happy with, but I'll live with. Ye old big ornithopter. Well, that's the beats. There we go. Let's play the game. I think if he doesn't play a plating here, I'm actually in a position where I can, if I draw a land next turn at least, just pass, play agent with a mana up to vines, and then go for the kill with the vines up later. Or something like that. Well, instead, I'm just going to have to try and kill him on 3. Yeah, I can't afford to try and draw land. I just have to go for what I got. Land off the top. I don't mind if he has a Whip Flare here. That's actually okay. Yeah, because if I wait a turn, I take a hit for 7. Yeah, I just die. Take a hit for 7 down to 9, and then have to draw land, and then I play that. There's just no way I don't end up losing that game. Yeah, it's dead. He had it. And that is the problem. This is lethal in 2, isn't it? Oh. It is not technically lethal in 2. Though, yeah, that's not what I wanted to see. Probably going to die here. I can rip. Nature's Claim does not get me out of it. I'm also not in a spot where I can actually block the plating damage. So I think I just have to play to draw Basic Forest or Pendlehaven, or Nexus does not do it. Nexus is one short. Guess that's cute that this is a scenario where Fido Burst would be better. I'm actually really struggling to figure out what I do not lose to on this board state, because if I have to block, the game is over. Well then, okay. I guess that does not kill me. He did make some mistakes. I am technically still playing the game. Draw a Glistener Elf, maybe? Okay. We're still good. This game is not technically over. In the loosest sense of technically. Okay. So what I'm waiting for here is that in response to his next equip, I can Vines his Ornithopter, so he can't actually equip plating to it. And that puts him in a scenario where he can only get one plating onto the Memnite. Which then, in theory, lets me draw a Corruptor to kill his Ornithopter. And then if he doesn't draw creatures, I can win. Because I can take a single hit for 8 and go to 1 if he moves a plating to the Memnite. Instead, we drew a Groundswell. We are dead to the flyer. Yeah, I'll just submit the same. This hand is pretty good. I think that by the time he could kill my Noble, I'm out of the point of the game where, like... So if he has a Galv Blast on 1, the odds are it's not going to be Metal Grafted, so I can Mutagenic it. And then if he... I guess, like, Whip Flare is the card that kind of messes me up, but I still get to save that with Growth. So my thought is that by the time he gets Galv Blast to deal 4 damage, he's in a position where he actually has to deal it to the Blighted Agent or the Glistener Elf. And of course we have a Corruptor. Man, main deck sideboard cards are really messed up. And for the record, I do want to talk a bit about the Dryad Arbor decision, because I have been a little land light the last couple games, but realistically, I don't think Dryad Arbor functions as a land in most hands in this deck. I think it's just too flaky, too... How badly do I die to Whip Flare here? I'm actually okay with losing a bird, an elf, and a mutagenic to it. So my thought is that most of the time in this matchup, I actually want the mana right away or early. So like if I have a Dryad Arbor actually in my hand, it's basically a non-land anyways, for all intents and purposes other than land falling a Groundswell. So I don't really mind it not being in my deck. For what it's worth, I have a very similar opinion on Mana Confluence and Standard against Burn. You should not be casting it or activating it in most situations. So odds are it's probably worse than just a random other card from your deck or sideboard. So board out more Mana Confluences against Burn and Standard. Not necessarily against the red decks, because I think or the creature decks, because if you stabilize at like a reasonable life total against those decks, you are probably going to kill them, regardless of like how far off your life total is. Do not make red mana. One time. Oh. Yeah, I'll save my noble. Don't have another. You die to a land drop. Is this the old-fashioned stare down? Is he debating what to Galv Blast here? No, I can beat that. Actually, he could Galv Blast still. Never mind. He could Galv Blast still. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go for it. It's just unfortunate because this exact play loses to Dismember. I would have really liked to get the Exalted trigger on the Noble, but so it goes. Though to be fair, if he dismembers, I still have the Corruptor in hand, so I can still, accept that he gets a counter on his two guys and then kill him. Yeah, I guess that is one thing that kind of punishes the deck a little, is people's removal spreads have definitely widened, so it's a lot harder to play against everything. Nope. I don't know, make sure there's nothing stupid like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the card. There's like those make up blocker guys, though I guess those would be cast anytime. Oh well, we have affected our way solidly to victory.